So this is going to be an insightful and enlightening and not in any way depressing commentary, right? Because today I wanted to talk about a pending free agent-to-be who has garnered some attention from various NHL markets and fan bases as potentially being an option for their favorite teams. We're heading over to the whiteout Winnipeg, Manitoba, and talking about Nikolaj Ehlers. Because, at the time of recording this audio, who knows if things change by the time this video is up on YouTube, but at the time of recording this audio, Nick Ehlers is a pending UFA. Making $6 million a year till the end of this season, 29 years old, and he is a guy who posted up a very strong 63 points in 69 games last year. It was one of his better seasons. He has had seasons where the point per game was a little bit better. He has had seasons where he had more than 63 points. But Ehlers has been a very consistent, very speedy player for the Winnipeg Jets, and as a member of Team Denmark, a new member of Team Denmark, by the way, he just recently joined the team after getting eliminated in the Stanley Cup Playoffs. He's got 2 points, 2 goals in the 2 games that he has played so far. Denmark beat Team Canada the other day, and it was a really big victory, an upset victory, you could say. And Ehlers did indeed score a very important goal in this contest. Now, the reason we are talking about Nick Ehlers is because of a radio hit done on Sportsnet 650 earlier on Friday. Ehlers is a Dane, playing for Team Denmark against Team Canada. So who better than the Great Dane himself, Honey Badger Mr. Jannik Hansen, to go out there and shed some light and insight on the prospect of Nick Ehlers potentially signing in Vancouver. I'll leave a link in the description of this video that was posted by the 650 Twitter account. Would Nick Ehlers come to Vancouver? Do I think he would come here? No. That is the blunt way that Hansen goes out there and describes it on this Twitter video. It'll be linked in the description. It's just the 1-minute segment that highlights Ehlers as a potential option. What I did was use the AI transcription machine to get the comments in full, so we can screenshot it, put it on the screen, and follow along together. Speaking out about Nick Ehlers, Satir Shah says on the program that Ehlers brings so many traits that the Canucks lack. At the same time, he's not a perfect player, but, you know, he would obviously make this team more skilled and a lot faster. Hansen replies, "Yeah, that's what I see too. Do I think he would come here? No." To be that's rough, and then there are some chuckles about it afterwards. Riccio replies saying the Canucks are not a top destination for any free agent right now, to which Hansen says, "Yeah, Nick Ehlers would pick Montreal before Vancouver. He's great friends with Laine. He played out in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League back in the juniors, so he's familiar with that. He wouldn't scoff at playing in Canada. He likes that pressure, so that's not an issue. It's not the fact that you come into a market where there's a lot of noise. He's played in Winnipeg, same thing there. I just think, like, who is he going to play with? Yeah, if Petey turns it around, but that's where I'm looking at it like, if you want to attract these high-end marquee wingers, they're going to look at it like, who's going to feed me the puck? And right now, there's a black hole. And I don't want to go in a situation in Vancouver. Yeah, I'm making a ton of money, and that's all good and well, but every single game I get scrutinized, and I don't really have anybody to play with. So again, that's why I had a blunt response to that question. And it's a symptom of the underlying truth of the Vancouver Canucks being so misguided right now with the way the team is structured and how good these guys are on the team, that it becomes a little bit difficult for any top 6 free agent to look at them and say, yeah, that's the team I want to play for. Jake DeBrusk did it last year because he saw Miller, Pettersson, Besser, and everybody else and said, yeah, that team was amazing. They made the 2nd round. They were a game away from the 3rd round. They're on the up and up. I want to sign with them. Now, Jake DeBrusk is a fine player. He's okay. But Nick Ehlers, I think he's probably better. Okay, he's definitely better, I would say. And he's going to get paid like so. It is interesting as well how the Montreal angle plays a part in it too. I want to make a video tomorrow, actually, talking about Vancouver and Montreal and the differences between their attraction, how attractive they are, to free agents in this way, because especially for Nick Ehlers, for Jannik Hansen to straight up say, yeah, there's a higher likelihood that he would go to Montreal because he's friends with Laine, he's been in Quebec before, he's used to it, he knows what it's all about. That is a very insightful thing for Habs fans to hang their coats on. Although I will say, it doesn't necessarily align with what the Canadiens have the most as their top need. They do need a second-line center, and Vancouver also needs a second-line center. They have Slafkovsky, Suzuki, Caulfield, and then you got Christian Dvorak and Kirby Dach and other options to fill out that second-line spot. Demidov is a second-line winger right now. He could play center. That's always been the underrated wildcard option of it all. But if you add Nick Ehlers to the Montreal Canadiens, you are getting a ton of speed and a ton of skill. Two things that Patrik Laine doesn't necessarily have. He's got a shot and slow feet. Laine does have skill, but not really in the same way that I think Ehlers does. But if you were to try to get that chemistry going, if you were to try Demidov out at center, that's the way to do it. Get Laine and Ehlers back together and have Demidov as the guy down the middle. As long as you can get that guy winning faceoffs, I think he's smart enough to be able to adjust to what Laine and Ehlers would be able to do, and all of a sudden you'd have probably one of the best top sixes in the NHL. That is all assuming, of course, everything works out properly and Demidov transitions to a center nicely, which is absolutely not guaranteed in the slightest. It is just kind of disheartening, though, to hear from the Vancouver beat, from Jannik Hansen, a Vancouver guy, that, yeah, the Canucks have a very little chance of signing Nick Ehlers. The fact that he instinctually went, no, I don't think he's going to sign here, is quite telling. And there are some replies on this Twitter video, like this one. What a bitter ex-Canuck Jannik Hansen has become. It's tough to listen to his negativity. And then there are other replies saying, yeah, well, he's not wrong. There's no sugarcoating it when it comes to the Canucks right now. They are not a desirable destination. Vancouver is in such a tough spot, and I did want to rehash this commentary topic for tomorrow, so we're just going to end this video off right now. I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Nick Ehlers and where he could potentially end up in free agency next season. Do you think there is a reasonable take that sees him coming over to Vancouver, or do you think it's totally out to lunch here? What kind of players do you think would even want to come to the Canucks? Are they going to be able to entice anybody to sign with them in free agency, or are the Canucks just going to have to force a guy to come over via a trade? Let me know all your opinions in the comment section below. Canucks fans, Canadiens fans, Habs fans, how do you feel about Nick Ehlers being labeled a more likely destination than Vancouver? And based off the factors of the QMJHL and Laine being there, do you think that makes it a lot easier for Ehlers to project into the Canadiens' plans? Or do you think Ehlers is just too far removed from what the Canadiens need to actually entertain this thought process? Let me know in the comment section all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.